All right, hello again. My name is Zach, and I am here to show you the steps forward to starting to DM your own Dungeons & Dragons games using Roll20. And I'm doing so without spending money, because I'm broke. So are you, probably. What do I know? If you're not, send me money. That being said, the last video we covered the toolbar on the left side, and now the only thing left to do is cover the toolbar on the right side. This doesn't look like a toolbar. I promise you it is. So by default, it is on chat. This is, again, the tools that you can, the tool that allows you to see everything that's set or done in your game. Oh, sorry. That's self-explanatory as far as I'm concerned. This is your chat logs. You know what a chat is? It looks like a talkie thingy. Imagine it's Twitter. I don't know. Do people Twitter? Next up is your art library. This is a great tool because it has all the pretty shiny things in it. I'm going to click on that and close that. It's going to look like this. You've got premium assets and my library. Premium assets is simple and straightforward. It's the stuff you've paid or gotten for free assets, through using Roll20. Sometimes they just give away stuff, especially for like holidays and cool stuff. It's all categorized into a basic opening system. It's like a folder system. Look at all the freebies. Aren't they nice? And when you find one that you do want to use, all you need to do is drag it out with your mouse onto the battlefield, and voila. That's a simple, straightforward token system. My library, on the other hand, gets a little bit more complicated. Not that much, but a little bit. Also, this is a basic search engine. I'm sorry if I skip that. It's a search engine. What do you want to look for? Do you want to look for orcs? Type in orcs. It'll sort them. I shouldn't have to. No. That being said, let's go into my library. My library is a little bit more complicated. I'll be honest, I expected this to look way worse. The reason is because I'm using my free one and not my main one as a DM. So it's not as full. That's always fun. Oh, there is another tool set that I have to go through. God, no, I won't do that until later. Sorry, getting off topic. The My Library section is where you can upload custom everything. This is where you're going to load your maps. This is where you're going to load your tokens. This is where you load your effects or your icons. Anything that you want to use in-game, this is where you put it. We're going to upload. Drop a file is if it's open on another screen or another page and you kind of just chug it in there. It never really works for me, drop a file. I always save my stuff and then choose a file. And then we're just going to go ahead and choose this token here that I have saved in my computer. And you can, of course, see a little progress bar, and it just pops. Easy. Simple. And look, it'll actually say recent uploads. Isn't that helpful? Isn't that magical? Now, once we're done uploading anything we need to, try not to upload multiple in the same file, because it'll chug down the system a lot. Just take your time, choose a file, do it, choose a file, do it, choose a file, do it. If your PC is really fast and your internet's really fast, you can do multiple files. Great. My PC's decent, and it still chugs like crazy. So what do you know? Once we're finished with that, we'll go into my library, and we can see under recents, hey, look, that's the thing I just uploaded. I apologize that it's so hideous and ugly. It was for a test bed for something else, but there is this little guy. And of course, dragging it out just like any other token will produce it here. Same for the maps as well. You'll have to imagine it. And then add is folders. So if you want to keep all of your tokens for characters and all your tokens for maps and all your tokens for weapons, all in kind of the same grid patterns, then you can do folder systems. I don't like using folder systems because the only time I upload is when I need it then and there. It's not a great system. It's very underprepared, but it's something that does work for me because it allows me to think about what I want to do. Or I'm trying to justify me being lazy. I'll let you make that distinction. So that is another tool that you can use, and it's super helpful. And then, of course, the search is the same. When you're creating files, name them real things, not token1_1 in parentheses 9.png, because I will never be able to find that in a search. Again, I don't really need to, but if you need to, then do that. This token represents a character, character's name, token. So that's such an easy search. So bad on me for not doing it, but that is the way it is. I do it sometimes. Next up in our tools list is our journal. What is a journal? The journal is where all of the information is kept about the game. What I mean by that is easily shown. Add. This is where you're going to show your character sheets, your handouts, and any other folders so that you can organize those. This is where you create your character sheets. Again, this is its own video, so I'm not going to bother going through it, but just as a quick one, this is what it shows. I'll just save changes. And look, there's my character. It randomizes the name. That's why it's typed that way. Normally, I would just mash on the keyboard, but it kind of does it for me. Isn't that nice? You can also add handouts here. And that. And that. And then there's a mysterious note that someone found. Ooh. I don't use handouts personally. This is a great way to keep like monster details or world details to yourself. And I'll cover that in a later video as well. Yeah, I will. But where it says GM notes, only visible to GM, I always like to go like, these are the important figures, these are the capital buildings, these are the dates, these are the times, these are the gods. Like, that's kind of information that I can use because it's right here. Now, obviously, if you use a text editor or something outside, that's totally fine because you can manipulate it, when you're on your phone or whatever you need to do. That's a whole other tool set, but this is a free tool set that you can use, and that's the point of these videos. It's free, free, free. You can also add tags, which is a honestly strange thing to me. But like, you make so many characters, and this is the orcs, or the orc's twin brother has a different name. You can search by tags or name. I have never filled this up so much that I need all of that. So I'll be honest, just don't do that. It's just overwhelming and messy and sloppy, and who wants that? Because it ain't me. So you can also, again, put things into folders. These are all my characters, even though it kind of already does that. You can manipulate it even further if you need to. I don't know why you would, but it is a possibility. Next up on our list is my favorite tool? Probably my favorite. The Compendium. This little I here is I for information. This is what shows all of the stuff that Roll20 generously gives you access to for free. It's super good. Now, granted, because it is the free version, you're going to see a lot of nothing here. Yes, I know. But these are the basic additions of things that you can just use. I'm getting a phone call. I apologize. Give me one moment. Spam calls. I apologize. So these are all the tools that you can use. Super, super usefully and free. Of course, if you give money to Roll20, not weekly, or not monthly, excuse me. I don't know why is it weekly. Monthly, but this is where you would pay for books. And books in D&D are expensive. Granted, they're thick and voluptuous, but they're expensive. So we'll just focus on the free stuff. This is where you're going to see all of the, it's like having the basic book, the player's handbook in front of you, or the DM guide as well. So for an example, if you want to use a race, you click on races. This will give you all of the races that are available for free to work with. So Dragonborn are awesome. We're going to click on Dragonborn, and this is going to load slowly, give you all of the relevant information as far as Dragonborn goes. What they can do, what their increases are, the breath weapons. These are your feats, not your feats, your abilities. This is your size. And then you can view all races outwards and do all that fun stuff. There is a reason that this is such a great tool set. Yes, it's quick reference. That's super helpful, especially with spells. Use the crap out of spells. Like, look at this. Hey, what the crap does aid do? You load slowly. That's what aid does. Toughness and resolve, 3 hit points maximum. I just used this in my game, my Wednesday game when I'm the player, because I'm a cleric. It's not a great heal, but it can be a great starting to the fight. Great. So this is super useful. And of course, if, hey, what does the aid spell do? It just automatically pulls that up. It's actually a really great search engine. It does something else. And this is what makes it the most useful tool. So this is going to be a little overwhelming, and I do apologize, but it's easier to show you, and I'll explain more in detail later on down the road. We're going to open our character sheet. We're going to get it directly, because fuck the character mancer, although we'll explain that later. We're going to go into spells, and hey, this character wants to learn the aid spell, and I allow that for whatever reason. We get an aid. There's the aid spell. Did you see it? Did you blink? Was it too fast? It just lets you drag and drop spells. You don't have to type them in manually for casters. You could just go, hey, he has this spell and this spell and this spell and this spell. It's so good. Now, there's a catch. Of course there's a catch. There's always a catch. Oh, hey, my one thing didn't save. I wonder why that is. It's limited. It's free. It's a limited free service. And I apologize. I can't do anything about that because who the hell has money? Cat, what are you going about? Hey, shh. Shh. Now my cat wants to be loud? I apologize. It's not going to have everything. It's not going to be able to do everything. You know? It's not going to have every spell, so you're going to have to manually type in some spells. I think... Let me check. Yeah, see? Toll of the Dead, which is a cantrip for clerics, is in another book. That's not the first free one. So I can't drag and drop it. I have to manually type that one in. Hey. Shh. I'm almost done, and he wants to do it and wants to be loud now. I apologize. But this is life. This is how I make my videos. Life happens. I can't help that. I'm not in a vacuum or a bubble. So yeah, super, super useful as far as the compendium goes, and feel free to flip through this if you ever need it. That being said, we can move on. The next tool is your Jukebox. This is where you can play songs and tunes for your players. I don't traditionally use it because of copyright purposes, but if you are someone that doesn't need to deal with that, good on you. This is where you would do it. You would manage your audio. And this is where you can make playlists and you can upload tracks. Roll20 does try and work with some royalty-free stuff. Tabletop Audio, Battle Bards, and Comptech. That you can use. There's some sound effects, spells, traps. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. And you can add that to playlists or to the game directly and play it on cue or demand. That's a whole other tool set that we may get into later down the road. Again, I don't use it for copyright purposes, but it's helpful. It is super helpful. That's all I got. That's the whole joke. So last but certainly not least is your collection. This is difficult. I'm going to be really honest with you. This stuff makes my head spin. And I'm going to try and cover it as a brief statement, because getting directly into macros of exactly what you need or want to do is its own video, and I need to do some studying. So we'll get there eventually. But macros are quick typing commands that allow complicated chains of things to happen. This is what allows you to, if roll this, then roll this, or if this action happens, play the sound, or if this, etc., etc., etc. It's complicated. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's complicated. This is also where you get to have some of your fun, because I believe you can get like GIF manipulation or JPEG manipulation, or if critical, then play image or WoW or whatever. It's fun. There's a lot of fun to it, but it's complicated. So I apologize if it's not purely covered at the moment. Next up is your decks. Decks are like deck of many things, or 52 cards for playing cards. This is used in predominantly other game types. D&D has the deck of many things, and you can kind of make your own that way by adding and changing a lot of the elements. Just like this. I don't use it. I'll be honest. It's a tool that I have used one time and literally never. I set a deck up, and it was never used in game. So that sucks. But it is what it is. Just get that out of the way, because I'll forget. And last but certainly not least is rollable tables. This is where you're going to add special manipulations for table for random chance. What I mean by that is, if you have a loot table of, hey, you could earn this or this or this or slap in the face, then you can set that up custom to have your player roll on that. I don't get the point of that. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you have a rollable table, then why wouldn't that be on another source? Why would it be in Roll20? And why would you allow your players to roll on it in Roll20? Because it's a lot of extra work. Again, I'm lazy. I apologize. So there is a certain element of fanciness where if your DM comes to you and goes, hey, I've got this great sheet and you can roll on it. Like, great. Good job on you. Me personally, I am way too lazy to set that up. I just don't see the point of it. I just, hey, roll a 20. Look at my other screen. 1 through 20 is already listed because I'm using a table that I used in Word or found on the internet somewhere. Shifty eye. Okay, you roll a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you get. Why has it got to be complicated? I don't know. Some people like that stuff, and maybe it's required for other game modes. I don't really play other game modes. I have before, but not really. So it's not super useful to me. That being said, of course, the settings is the last actual tool set, but we kind of covered those earlier, and it's straightforward. You've got your music volume. Don't bother with enable 3D device. It just slows down the work. My cat's attacking something weird. I apologize. You can change colors for your token bars, which we'll get into later. The deck size is how big it shows. Like, it's straightforward, right? I would hope so. Maybe not. You've got experimental features. QR code for tablet. I've never seen it work on a tablet. I don't own a tablet, so I've never really tried. But apparently, you can play it on a tablet. Not on a phone, though. Isn't that weird? So that being said, that should cover you basically for all of your tools. Yes, there's still plenty to look at and see in the world, but for now, you have a basic understanding of all the tools and tricks to start you on the path of a free DM. So I hope you tune in next time for more tips and tricks. I'm sure we'll be covering a lot of information, character sheets, map creation, token creation, other stuff, really. So until then, I hope you have a wonderful time, because you absolutely deserve it. And wear a mask, wash your hands. It's really simple. Can't believe I have to keep saying this. Jesus. Bye-bye.